Victoria, in November, invited Alex to come to Windsor so that Victoria, the Queen of England, could explain Alex's duties and how she should comport herself as a royal princess. And Alex went and had a long interview with her mother-in-law-to-be, and Victoria started in, and before she could get anywhere, Alexandra simply charmed the daylights out of her. And at the end of that meeting, Victoria was saying, "Oh, what a charming, oh, just an absolute saint. Oh, Victoria, we're so lucky. Oh, what is all this carrying on?" Victoria had these highs of ecstasy, so it was a huge success. She just loved the idea of adding Alexandra to the family. Well, the wedding was set for the winter of '63, and in March of '63, everybody came to Windsor, St. George Chapel, where the wedding took place. Royals from all over the world came, it was a huge family. Everybody to see the young couple off. But Victoria, the Queen, consistently broke down weeping for the departed Albert interrupting the ceremony and stole the show. However, Albert Edward and Alexandra were now Prince and Princess of Wales, and they moved into Sandringham. Sandringham is a magnificent country house. And within the year, they'd gotten busy, and their first son was born, Albert Victor. By the way, everybody's children, all male children born in this era were named Albert. Every damn one of them. You had any number of Alberts in your family, but you called them by their second name. Otherwise confusing. The birth was a bit hectic for Alexandra. It was winter, January, you know, and they had all gone skating at a pond some distance from Sandringham. And she was ready, but nobody knew the exact moment. And she was seated on a bench watching everybody skating, and suddenly oh! And you know what happened. And her lady in waiting said, what, Your Highness? Well, quick, it's happening. So, oh my God, you know, where were they? They couldn't get, where did they go? There was a farmer's house nearby. They rushed into the farmer's house. The Prince of Wales was with her. They rushed in, the poor farmer and his wife, what, here are all the royals in their kitchen. And Alexandra gave birth on the kitchen table with her lady waiting and the Prince of Wales and the farmer's wife assisting. Albert Victor came along with the ice cubes. Well, it was a year later, a little more, that their second son was born, George, and he was followed by Louise Victoria, and then Maud. So far, 6 children. Was it 6? I can't count. 5. And unfortunately, when Louise Victoria was born in '67, age of 67, Princess Alexandra, Princess of Wales, came down with rheumatic fever just before the birth. Now this, of course, could have been fatal for the baby, but no, Princess Louise came out fine. She was a perfectly healthy child. But the Princess of Wales was not after that. The rheumatic fever had damaged her. She was lame for life. Her left leg was slightly shorter and her hip was stiff, and she suffered increasing deafness from that time forward. She lavished attention on her family and her relatives. This filled the void of the absent husband. Edward was away most of the time. He was off doing things, or somebody. Now, she wasn't totally isolated from masculine companionship. She had Oliver Montague. Oliver Montague was the same age as Alexandra. He was the unmarried equerry of her husband. And Edward, the Prince of Wales, sort of delegated Montague to look after his wife's well-being, you know. And Montague absolutely adored Alexandra, absolutely. And she responded. I don't mean some stupid, carnal, squishy business that you see on television. No, it was much more important than that. She needed what he supplied, and he needed her. He was her slave as long as he lived. Unfortunately, he died in the 1890s, early on. But this gave her a great deal of courage during these years.